Hello, friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing superbly great, especially with your studies. So, let's continue with our discussion on process costing. And before we continue, you people know what you have to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications, and most importantly, share with maximum people. Right? The education is of no use if you are just keeping it to yourself. So it is very important that you share with your friends, other people, wherever, on any platform, wherever you can share, you have to share it, right? That these lectures are available. Okay. So what we were discussing in the process costing, in the last lecture we started with the topic that is process inventories. Process inventories. And I told you that in any process there are three types of inventories that we will be discussing about. Right? The first one is raw material. Then the raw material is being converted into finished goods, that is known as WIP. Then when the WIP is converted into a finished good, we call it as finished good. Right? So basically what we have to study is we have to study the treatment, that how to treat the opening and closing of raw material. We have already discussed in the last lecture. In this lecture, what we are going to discuss is about the finished goods, right? In the process costing, how you are going to treat the finished goods. So this treatment is what we are going to discuss. Very easy, sir. And I told you that from examination point of view, this is the most important part. This WIP part is the most important, which we will be starting from the next lecture. It will take few lectures, but this is the most important part, WIP. Right? Now, so let's start with in this lecture what we are going to discuss, that is about finished goods inventory. Finished goods inventory. Right, sir. So keep your handbooks ready with you. All those who want to buy the handbooks, they can get it from our website, that is www.ksjteaching.org, right? So you can get the books from there. So practically, if you see, some people say, sir, please give the books free of cost or something like that. Huge discounts are 400, 500. See, practically see one thing. You are getting the whole course in just 1100, 1200 rupees, around 1300 rupees. Right? The whole course you are getting in that price. So I think from that point of view, it is very, very, very reasonable. Right? Okay. Now, what about the finished goods inventory, sir? Sir, what we have been doing till now, what we say that the output of one process is transferred as input of the next process, right? Whenever we are preparing the process account, what we do is we write here by process 2 account, right? Or what we write it as, by finished goods account, right? And when we prepare the next process, right, there we write to previous process, right? This one we write to previous process, right? So this value in the units also, in amount also, this is the finished product. This is the finished product of process 1. Obviously, that is why we are transferring for the next process. It is a raw material. For that particular process, this is a finished product which we have transferred it to the next process as raw material. Right? Now we say, in a particular month, say in the month of April, there was an opening stock with me, opening stock of finished goods. Right? Say 100 units. Clear? Production during this particular month, say April 21. During this particular month, there was a more production of how many units? 1000 units. So in this process account, tell me, do we take the opening stock of FG? Are we going to take the opening stock of FG? Sir, we have discussed about the opening stock of raw material, but opening stock of that particular process as a finished good will not be considered in the process account, right? Have I told you? No. What I have told you is you have to take the opening stock of raw material at the same rate. Whatever was lying, it is lying there. Clear? But the opening stock of FG, we do not take it in the process account. Now, less closing stock. Less closing stock. So here you have 1100 units, right? So when you checked your closing stock was 300 units only. Clear? Closing stock was 300 units. That means the remaining, what about the remaining 800 units? These 800 units, these have been transferred to next process. Transferred to next process, this 800 units. Now, the problem here is that, sir, here we do not take the opening stock of FG. No. What we are taking is the opening stock of raw material we take, but we do not take the opening stock of FG in the process account. Now what should be done here? Now we are transferring to the next process only 800 units. The closing stock is there 300 units. Opening stock is there. The production is there. So we have to record everything. Right? Now here we are going to record 1000 units. Sir, what about those? What about this opening stock, closing stock, and transfer to next process? If we go as per this analysis, we can say 1000 units have been transferred here. Right here you will write 1000, but actually you have transferred only 800 units. Right? Are you getting the point? So here is a big problem, sir. Sir, we are not recording this in the process account. We are not recording this in the process account. And this value which we are recording in the process account, this will be wrong, because we are not considering the opening and closing balances. So what we do in this case is, in the case of FG, we do not transfer. This transfer does not take place. We do not transfer directly from a process to another process. What we will do is we will transfer the production, this production of one process, we will transfer it to where? We will transfer it to process stock account. Process stock account. Right? Now in this process stock account, there will be 100 as the opening balance, there will be closing balance of 300, there will be a new production, and then we will say we have transferred it to the next process 800 units. Sir, why are we using this process stock account? Why are we using this process stock account, sir? Can't we take the opening and closing balances here directly? No, there is a problem in this. What? Sir, what is the problem in this? Problem here is that, sir, this 100 units opening stock, this might be valued at a different rate, say 10 rupees. Now the production of 100 rupees, this might be valued at 11 rupees. Now the problem is here that how to record at the different values. What should be the value of closing stock then? Whether it should be 10 or 11, or transfer to next process should be 10 or 11. So for this purpose, what we do is we prepare a separate account that is known as process stock account. That means if I prepare a process account, right? If I prepare a process account, the output of this process, I will write by process stock account. Of that particular process, what I will do is I'll prepare a process stock account. So next I will take, this is the current production. This is basically the current production. Right? That means 1000 units in our example. Now what you are going to do is you are going to prepare process stock account, right? You're going to prepare the process stock account. In the process stock account, what you will take is, first you will take the opening balance, then you will take what is transferred from here, right, to process account, and here you will have by closing balance and by process 2 account or next process account. Clear? Any doubts? Right, sir? So when you will prepare the next process account, there you will write to process 1 stock account, right? You will not write to process 1 account, you will write to process 1 stock account. Why we are doing this? Because this value may be different, this value will be different, this value is to be calculated differently. So that is why we cannot prepare all these things in the process account. We simply say that, sir, whatever is the production, current production of that particular period, take it to the process stock account where the opening and closing balances are already sitting, right? Put a sheet for the current production and then identify what is the figure, what is the units that you are transferring to the next process. Now comes the important part, that is how to value it. The valuation is very important, right? How the valuation is to be done, right? This now opening balance may be recorded at 10 rupees, the process may be recorded at 11 rupees. Now what should be the price for this? So then why there is no problem in the raw material case? Why there is a problem in the finished goods case? Now listen to it very carefully, sir. You go to the market, you buy a chocolate worth 40 rupees, right? You buy 2 chocolates worth 40 rupees, you come back home and you keep it in the refrigerator. In the evening, you will eat 1 chocolate and keep 1 for the next day, right? So what you are doing, the next day when you will wake up, you will find the chocolate in the refrigerator. Now what is the price of the chocolate? For the previous day, it is a closing balance, right? The closing balance of chocolate is 1 chocolate. You have consumed 1 chocolate, you have kept it in the refrigerator, which is the closing balance. Now, at what price this closing balance is being carried forward? Will the price of chocolate change? No, sir. It is going to remain 40 rupees only, right? You have bought 2 chocolates for 40 each. So the next day when you will wake up, the price will remain 40 only, sir. That is the case with raw material. The raw material came into the factory at say 100 rupees. It is lying in my store. Next day, I have not consumed it. I have consumed some of it. Some is lying in my store. Next day, the price of the raw material will remain same, right? Which is lying in the store. It will remain 40 only. Isn't it? That is not going to change. But in case of finished goods, what is happening? You go to a shop, you buy a chocolate worth 40 rupees and another chocolate worth 50 rupees. Right? Now when you will come back home, what you did is you had some chocolate from 40 rupees chocolate and you had some chocolate from 50 rupees. Now next day, whatever is the closing balance, at what price you will calculate the closing balance? At 10 rupees, at 40 rupees or 50 rupees? Now that is a problem, sir. Right? At what rate you are going to carry forward it to the next period, next day I mean, at 40 or 50? Sir, both the chocolates are there, even 40 chocolate is there, 50 rupees chocolate is also there. So now that is a problem, sir. How can I calculate the closing balance? Right, so this is the problem with the finished good. Because there are many elements involved in the manufacturing of the finished product which can alter the price. Now say in the previous month, that is my opening balance of this current month, in the previous month the labor rates were comparatively on the lower side, so the price is 10 rupees. Next month the labor rates were revised, right? So the price increased to 11 rupees. Now the problem is the closing balance, whatever closing balance I have, what should be the value of that closing balance basically, right? That is why we prepare separate process stock account in case of FG and not in case of raw material. I hope this is clear. Now let's do a practical problem on this. Open the practical files. Question number 5. The product of OK company passes through three distinct processes called A, B, and C. The normal wastage at three process is process A 4%, process B 5%, process C 10%. Now this percentage is given. It will be of the input, right? In each case, the percentage of wastage is computed on the number of units entering the process concerned. So it is given, right? That is what I told you. It will be on the input, the number of units that you have input in the process. The wastage will be calculated on that basis, right? The wastage of process A is sold at 0.20 per unit, of the process B at 0.30 per unit, and the process C at 0.40 per unit. Now listen to it very carefully, sir. This wastage, it is given normal wastage, right? Even if this word normal is not used in the question, even then it is a normal loss, because we have predicted it, right? Abnormal is something that we can't make prediction of. If it is a predicted percentage, then it means it is a normal wastage. The following information is obtained for the month of September. 40,000 units of the crude material, that is the raw material, were introduced in the process A valued at 30,000. Right? So process A, process B, process C. The data is given. Material consumed 20,000, direct labor 6,000, direct expenses 1920. Output is given to you and for the process B, process C similarly. Right? Finished product stock. Now you are given the finished product stock. This is the opening balance and this is the closing balance that is given to you in each process. Stock valuation per unit on September 1. This is the opening valuation. Opening valuation that is given to you, that the stock, this 6,000 is valued at 1.40, this 3,000 is valued at 1.80, this 4,000 is valued at 2.50. Now whatever the production output of this process, we have to calculate the rate. We'll calculate the cost per unit here, right? Then we'll try to find out the value of this closing balance and the value at which we are transferring it to the next process. Now, office and administration expenses are 5,000, selling and distribution 7,000. Stocks are valued and transferred to the subsequent process at the weighted average cost. Weighted average cost, entire output has been sold at rupees 4 per unit. Prepare the process account, process stock account, and the finished stock account. Now listen to it very carefully. See, sir, I told you that the opening balance is 10 and the process, the transfer from the process is at 11. Now we have to find out the closing balance value and the transfer to next process. Now this can be calculated by two methods. One is FIFO method and the other one is the weighted average method, right? FIFO method is first you are going to consume the opening balance and whatever is left from the process account, right? So in that case, if your opening balance is exhausted, whatever will be the left will be from this process only, right? In case of weighted average, we say that we do not know whether it is from opening balance or from the process account, right? We'll take the weighted average. Simple, sir, chocolate question. If you want to value the closing balance of the chocolate, what you will do? You will see you have eaten 8 cubes or 6 cubes of 40 rupees chocolate and 3 cubes of the 50 rupees chocolate. Now whose value will be more? Whose value will be more? Whose weight is more? 50 rupees chocolate is having more cubes. So depending upon the weight of that, depending upon the number of cubes that are there, we are going to value it. So it is on the basis of the weighted average method. Clear? So in this question, it is clearly given that you have to do it by the weighted average method. The question seems to be very simple. Nothing much in this, right? Let's see the solution. Okay, so first we have question number 5. First we have the process A account. I hope it is clear. Now, the raw material introduced 40,000 units at the rate of 0.75, 30,000 is the amount that is given to you. RM consumed is 20,000. Another raw material that was consumed was 20,000. It is given in the question. Labor is 6,000. Now, it is not the introduced part. He says the raw material which was earlier lying also. This is the new introduction that we have purchased. This might be lying earlier only, right? But we have consumed in this period Beyond this 30,000, it is 20,000, labor 6,000, direct expenses 1920. There is a normal loss. What is the normal loss given? Normal loss is given as 4% in the process A, right? 4% of what? 4% of this input, whatever you have input, 4% of that, right? So this is 4% of 40,000. 1600, the rate at which we are getting the scrap value, that is 320. Transfer to the next process, not next process. Now what we are going to write is, we are going to write here process A stock account, right? Process A stock account, 38,000 units, that is given to you in the question. This value will know, sir, the remaining balance of 400 units is my abnormal loss. See, this abnormal loss will not be given directly in the question. It will always be the balancing. Whether it is abnormal loss or it is abnormal gain, you will have to find out from the process account. You will not get it directly in the question that this is abnormal loss. Why? Because abnormal loss cannot be predicted. If you are given the percentage or if you are given the units or anything, that will always be related to normal loss. Abnormal loss you will find out as the balancing figure of the units column. If the units, input units and the output units do not match with each other, that means there is either an abnormal loss or abnormal gain. Clear? So we have the abnormal loss here. Now how to calculate? We have two values to calculate, this one and this one. For that, what we calculate is cost per unit of normal output, that is 57,920. This is the total cost, right? Minus the scrap value, that is 320, minus the scrap value, divided by input units 40,000 minus normal loss units, that is 1600. So this value is 1.5, right? 1.5 and 1.5. Any issues? Right, sir? Clear? Any issues? Now what we have done here is, we have transferred to the process A stock account, not process B account. That means, why we have done it? Because read the question carefully. In the process A stock account, there is opening and closing balances given to us. Now if the opening and closing balances are given to us, that means we have to prepare a separate process stock account. Okay, so this is my process A stock account. Balance brought down 6,000 units, which is given in the question. The value is given to in the question as 1.4, 8,400. Now this is the process A account. This is the current period production which we have transferred from here. 38,000 units. What rate? 1.5, 57,000. Now he says balance carried down. This is given to you in the question, 4,000 units that you have carried forward to the next period. That means what you have transferred to the next process is only 40,000 units. Clear? Now the problem here is that, sir, the value of opening stock is 1.4 and the value of the current production is 1.5. So at what value you have to transfer to the process B and you have to carry forward in the next process? For that, he says you have to use the weighted average method, right? Weighted average, units into rate plus units into rate, that is this amount only, divided by the total number of units. This is what we have done. This is basically weighted average method, right? 65,400, this is the total cost, right? Or what you can write is rate units 6,000 multiplied by rate 1.4, right? Plus 38,000 multiplied by 1.5 divided by 6,000 plus 38,000. This is how you will use the weighted average method. We have already discussed in the material costing, isn't it? Number of units means the number of cubes in the chocolate. Rate means the rate of that chocolate, right? On that basis, the number of cubes multiplied by rate plus number of cubes multiplied by rate divided by total number of cubes. You will get a weighted average of that, right? That comes to 1.863, and this is the rate at which you will transfer it to the next process also, and you will carry forward it to the next period also. Clear? So this is how you have to prepare the process stock account. Any doubts in this thing? Now what we have done here, from this process stock account we are transferring it to the next process. That means whenever we are preparing the process B account, now what you are going to write here, the process A stock account, right? You have to be very careful here. do not write process A account. It will be wrong, because we are not transferring from the process A account, we are transferring from the process A stock account, right? 40,000 units at the rate 1.4863. So this is the total value. Raw material consumed, labor, direct expenses, everything given to you. Normal loss is given to you in the question. Scrap value is given to you in the question, and the process B stock account. Again, now whatever is the next, we are transferring output of this process, it will be transferred to the process B stock account. 37,000 in the given in the question. That means this is your balancing figure. 1000 as the abnormal loss. How to calculate the value? Cost per unit of normal output, right? 69,000 total cost minus the scrap value of 600 divided by 40,000 input minus the normal loss, that is 2000. So 1.8 is the value that you will get here. Any doubts? Right, sir? So here you are transferring it to the process B. In the process B, you have an opening balance of 1.8. right, and the new production at 1.8. Now it becomes simple, sir, in this case, because the opening and the current production are same, so the transfer and the transfer to the next process will be at 1.8 only, even if you will calculate it by the weighted average method, right? This is weighted average method, so it will come to as 1.8 only, because the value is same for opening also and for the current production also. Clear? So from here, what we have done is we have transferred it to the process C account, and in the process C account, we'll take process B stock account. Right? Raw material consumed, everything we are going to take. Then normal loss is there, process C stock account. Okay. So you have to be very careful with the stock account question. 34,000. Now here we have abnormal gain. For abnormal gain, what you are going to take is total cost up till this point, that comes to 70,700, right? This is the total cost leaving abnormal gain, right? Minus any scrap value 1400 divided by number of units input, that is 35,000, minus normal loss. So 2.2 is the value that you will use here, right? Here 2.2. I think it is wrongly given. It should be 2.2, right? So next we will transfer it to process C stock account. Opening balance 2.5, process C 2.2, carried down 9,500 units. That means we have transferred to the finished stock 28,400. Again, we'll be using the weighted average method now. How to use it? Sir, 4,000 units multiplied by 2.5, that is the weight, plus 34,000 units multiplied by 2.2 divided by 4,000 plus 34,000. This is what I have done here. 84,000 divided by 38,000, 2.2315, right? So this is the value at which you will transfer it to the next process, after which you have the finished goods stock account. Simple, sir. We will transfer it from process C stock account, right? Then office and administration expenses given, and transfer it to cost of sales. Now, sir, in the question we are given the selling and distribution expenses. There is no need to use that. Why? Because we are not required to prepare cost of sales account. If you are required to prepare cost of sales account, in that case you can use that. If you are required to prepare cost of sales account, in that case what you can do is to finished goods account 68,600, right, to selling expenses, whatever the expenses are given in the question, that is selling and distribution expenses 7,000, right? 7,000. Clear? So here you can write by costing P&L, by costing profit and loss account 75,600. So this is how you can prepare the cost of sales account. But if the question is silent, if the question doesn't require you to prepare cost of sales account, then do not waste your time in the examination, right? Do not prepare cost of sales account in that case. If the question says that you have to prepare, or if the question says in the examination that you have to prepare the relevant accounts, it doesn't specify what all accounts you need to prepare. The question says prepare the relevant accounts, right? In that case, you will prepare all the accounts including the cost of sales account. But that is a very rare chance that question will say prepare relevant accounts. Question will specify, like in this question, that you have to prepare the process A account, process A stock account, B account, B stock account, C stock account, and then the finished goods stock account, right? So it will be basically specified, right? This is my finished goods account. Clear, sir? Any doubts? So this is how the valuation of the finished goods being done. Remember the chocolate example, right? Always remember the examples because those are going to help you in the examination. If there is a question in the examination, you will always remember that chocolate example, right? So you are getting a chocolate at 40 and 50 rupees. How to value? You have eaten the 6 cubes and 3 cubes on the basis of number of cubes left. That is the weight of that chocolate, right? On the basis of that, you are going to value it. Clear? Any doubts in this thing? I hope this is clear, right? So we are done with the finished goods inventory. So if we talk about the process inventories, we are done with this raw material, we are done with this finished goods. Now comes the most important part of this chapter, that is the valuation of this WIP, which we are going to start in the next lecture. The most important topic. You must have your books with you, you must have your practice questions with you, because this is the most important part that we are going to discuss in the next 4 or 5 lectures. Most important, sir. Right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep sharing. Thank you so much.